My name is Jack, and I'm assuming you clicked on this video because you're a skinny guy wanting to put on muscle. Well, you've come to the right place because I'm a good example of someone who was skinny and really struggled to put on muscle at the start. So this video will be a guide for you to follow so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did when I started out. Shall we get into it? The number one tip that I can give you for this is to just eat everything and anything. Eat as much as you can. It does not matter the food. When you are starting out and you really are a hard gainer and you're really skinny, you're going to find it hard to put on any form of weight. Your metabolism is going to be so fast and it's just going to be a struggle all around. So what I would say is don't just focus on eating clean foods all the time. Save that for when you get bigger. This sounds like such unhealthy advice, right? It's necessary when you start out. It's what I did. Brother, I had all sorts of food. I'm talking burgers, hot dogs, pizzas, whatever. Brother, the weight will pile on if you do this. And again, at the start, it's just about getting things up and running and getting as much weight on as possible. When you're cooking as well, what I would say is using calorie dense ingredients. So no fry light spray, use proper olive oil. Comparing the portions to like a lower calorie ingredient based meal and something that you've used calorie dense ingredients for, the meals will look pretty much the exact same and the portions will be similar. The difference is one of them is going to have much higher calories. So you're almost tricking your brain into thinking you're eating about the same amount or less when you're actually eating way more calories. Also eating your foods at a faster pace. If you're one of those guys that gets full dead easily, you're going to need to speed up the time in which you're consuming your meals, which means you're going to need to eat those foods faster. The quicker you eat these foods, it's going to take longer for your body to realise how much food you're actually consuming. Therefore, you're almost trying to beat your body's deadline into being full. Will actually allow you to get more food in a shorter space of time. Therefore, more calories. So let's go back to the beginning. When I started the gym, I definitely was not eating enough. My appetite wasn't very big. My metabolism was super fast. And I was wondering, why am I not putting on any muscle? Soon I realised I just simply wasn't eating enough. And then the feast began. I was eating everything and anything. Brother, I would see something on a table, I'd eat it. I was just consuming everything within my grasp. And you're probably wondering, how do I have the money to buy all these foods? Well, when I started the gym, I was late in high school. I didn't really start eating enough till I was in like college. So when I was in college, I started shopping at cheaper supermarkets. Buying food that was much cheaper and meal prepping. Meal prepping is going to save you so much time and money. It allows you to measure out all your macros and calories within one sitting. And you're able to reduce the amount of money you're spending because you're actually measuring it all out on a budget. I will do a full video on my budget meal prep, but that's basically an outline of how much meal prepping helped me. That was a game changer. In terms of supplements, I started out by having shakes and creatine. Nowadays I just get my protein in through food. But back then I was trying to consume as much as possible. So I would definitely recommend starting out with some whey protein shakes. And these are the list of supplements that I would probably recommend you starting out with. Now let's talk training. Do not be fooled. It's not just your nutrition you need to worry about. You need to worry about how hard you're training. In the gym back in the day, I would say I was doing like 4 or 5 sets on everything, about 12 to 15, 15 to 20 reps. Not even rep ranges. I would just say, right, let's go for 20 reps. Bang out a bunch of reps without any form, consistency, any real control over the weight and without any connection with the muscle. So it's basically just moving the weight from A to B without getting anything out of it. And also I was not pushing to failure. There's a few things I want to touch on about this. So let's start with rep ranges. You shouldn't just pick a number of reps to go for. You should pick a range of reps because you're not sure how many reps you're going to be able to get. So these are kind of the standard rep ranges that I would use. Let's say you do a 60 kilogram bench press and you manage 8 reps. So the following week you would do the same weight and you'd build those reps up. You try and go for maybe 9 or 10. And let's say you manage to get 12 the following week. What you would then do is, after you get 12, you would up the weight the following week and then repeat the cycle. All you got to remember with that is as soon as you hit the top end of the rep range, you'll then try to up your weights. It works in with the next thing we're about to talk about, progressive overload. Progressive overload means that you're upping your weights in the gym. You're consistently pushing the boundaries and you're trying to go heavier each week in order to gain muscle. So you've got to consistently push that weight up if you want to make a difference in your physique. If you're just doing the same weights all the time, nothing's going to happen. And those rep ranges within those sets are little goals that you can aim for to hit each week, which makes your time in the gym feel a lot more progressive in my opinion, because it means you've always got something to work on. You've always got something to one up yourself on each week. Now we're going to talk about pushing to failure. So going to failure means going to the point where you can't do any more reps. So going to failure on most of your sets is crucial in order to gain muscle. In my opinion, that's been one of the biggest difference makers over the years that I've noticed. When I started implementing this going to failure strategy within my training, I find it hard not to take sets to failure. You also want to be doing a mixture of compound and isolation movements. Compounds are your big heavy movements that are working multiple muscle groups at once. Isolation movements are a bit more chilled, but they basically focus on one muscle group at a time. You're isolating that muscle. Next, we're going to talk about form. Your form is crucial. If you don't have good form, don't expect to gain any muscle. Your form should be everything. It should be the first thing you think about when you're about to do an exercise. Don't progress the weight until you know your form is spot on with it. Make sure you get your form locked down, then start progressing your weights. Slow those reps down, implement tempos, so controlling those reps. Back in the day, I just used to rep out fast as hell, no connection connection with the muscle. When I started slowing those reps down, that's when I really felt that connection within my muscles. And that's when the difference was made. I started gaining way more just through these slow and controlled reps. Last little things I want to talk about with training. Less sets is actually probably going to benefit you. If you do 2 to 3 sets, you're probably going to get more out of the exercise than if you do 4 to 5 sets. You can focus on 2 or 3 really high quality, heavy, focused, controlled sets. Whereas by the 4th and 5th set, if you're doing more than 3, then you're just going to feel burnt out by that point. So 2 to 3 sets on everything, but making the most out of those sets, making them count. You're probably wondering, Jack, how the hell am I meant to implement all this? It's a lot of info to take in. How am I going to remember all this? Get a notepad or something along these lines and start tracking everything in the gym. So I used to use a notepad, now I just use a spreadsheet or one of my programs. If you're interested in my workout programs, by the way, there's a link in the description. But as I was saying, being able to track everything means each time you go into the gym, you know what you did previously. It's just going to help massively with remembering everything. But on that note, yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the steps I took in order to get a bigger physique. You don't need to implement it all at once, just take it week by week. And yeah, I'm sure this will lead to loads of gains for you. And I'm personally excited for you. I know you're going to kill it. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, like the video, and I will see you in the next one.